Dun 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 dun.
Is that Freddy Fazbear? Boys, is that Freddy Fazbear?
Hmm.
Or. Oh Jesus, my melee button like. Oh, we're playing with well that Sammy XX guy is somewhat removed. He's looking for free travelers. I can tell. Where do you want to go?
Oh, anywhere.
Okay. How about we go like right there?
Okay.
They're trying to go on the end of the map, but I'm not trying to be hitting the storm as soon as like we land.
Man, dude, I need to clean my room. It's starting to get dirty.
I mean, I don't even have. I live with. Well, I sleep with my brothers and my mom. So and yeah, so my house is pretty much a safari up in here. Like this is like National Geographic. Wait. Wait, what is this? What is this? Wait, what does this have? Wait, what does this have? Speed, mag, and screw, vertical, forward grip, and a muzzle. Okay, okay, okay. And it's a purple. Oh, shoot! Wait, someone's shooting. They're shooting, like, around this area. Yeah, I hear them. They're at, 247. Ooh, that's possible. Okay, I'm getting closer to the source. Yeah. Okay, but I'm doing something right now. Shoot! Both literally and figuratively. Oh wow, he just went through the ground. Got one. Wait, I'm laggy. Oh, just the lag is real. No one was talking to you. Oh shoot! Both literally. Oh, I got him! I got him! I got him! He's almost dead! He's almost dead! He's right here! He's right here! Gosh darn it! That Samex guy sucks. Oh! Oh, he's shooting at me. He's shooting at me. He's shooting.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
No, you're good. Bro, can you get like my card, please?
I'm trying.
Oh no, I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to our other teammate. I was talking to the other teammate. Sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't know it wasn't.
Whoops.
Bro, just more. This guy sucks. There's a reboot van close to you. Ah, dang it, they're already rebooting. If you get close enough, you might be able to kill him. But be careful, our teammates died to them because he has like my purple weapon. Yeah, he had my purple.
My hair on the back of mommy's bed frame? Wasn't that excessive?
Right.
You remember my accidentally hitting and then you slammed my hair on the back of the bed frame? Wasn't that excessive? You can't die from that. Yes, I can, actually. You can break my skull. And you might have my brain. And I could die from failed surgery. Not if you don't hit me. I mean, not if you don't slam my head on the wall. Ben! 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 Sure. Oh, yes, because I went. Let's see a second. Unless you were actually choking for a while and then I did it, then it was. Ben! You can hold your leg for a while. You can hold your leg for more than 5 seconds. Yes. Bye.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Hey, guess what?
Okay, I gotta do something right now. Can you not ready up, please? I gotta do something.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
The rent is too damn high.
The rent is too damn high.
The rent is too damn high. The rent is too damn high.
Government. Hey, what's guys? Camp for
It's just $2,000.
here. We have massive news today. Epic is catching another W, and this time it's in the legal system. We've got some Fortnite news as well, or just general update news, but we're going to start right away with the battle. So, to catch you up, the Epic versus Google verdict is in, and Fortnite's the winner. A jury found from California that Google used its monopoly power on Android to injure Epic, turning the tables in the developer's years-long series of legal battles. And this is really one of the first wins, if the only win we've seen in Epic's lawsuits against Apple and Google. Very similar lawsuits, very similar battles, but Apple has been kicking butt so far. To catch you up, back in 2020, Epic launched an update in Fortnite. If you played at the time, you remember it, and it was like this free Fortnite campaign with a short/trailer type of thing, which was mirroring 1984, and basically on the Apple store, Epic is able to take a win against Google, so if they can get Android. In the course of the trial, we saw evidence that Google was willing to pay billions by a jury, whereas the Apple win was decided by a judge. So that could play a big part in this as well. What happened?
The 5th episode of the 7th season was interesting. We learned so many things. It was a real turning point for the season, and I can't wait to discuss it. The episode begins with a classic Rick and Morty adventure. Afterward, Morty complains that the adventure didn't go as he envisioned it, and Rick seems irritated by that. It appears they might start a huge argument similar to the one Rick, C-137, and Morty had back in Season 5 when they parted ways for some time. However, this Morty looks more chill, compromises, and offers Rick a drink. Next, we see Morty designing some kind of tool, most likely behind Rick's back, since he is doing that in his room instead of the garage. When we look at his room, we can see 2 posters that give out sinister messages, one saying Satan Satan's devil, while the other says mollusk man-eater. These posters give us a glimpse of the true sinister nature of this Morty. The shot that I found coolest is when we see his face closer, and the poster can also be seen in a way that says evil and wreaks havoc. This was a very cool hint about his true self. Then he goes back to the garage where we see Rick drunk. This whole scene looks very unusual. Why would Morty suddenly stop complaining about their adventure? Why would he offer Rick a drink? What was he creating back in his room? All of these questions were answered almost immediately when we see Morty using an eye patch, revealing almost everything about the whole scene. He is evil Morty. This is his backstory. He purposely made Rick drunk to easily catch him off guard, finishing his own grandfather. In the next scene, we see evil Morty traveling through dimensions and assisted by a Rick, who would later be known as Evil Rick. This Rick was most likely his original one, the one that we see at the start of the episode, but he modified him to be controlled with his eye patch. We see them going to the Morty Agency Center, barging in and taking out 2 Ricks. The computer had information on all the Mortys throughout the universe.
Modern Woodman, life insurance for modern pioneers. All right, Dan?
Awaken your inner goddess with VitaFusion's expertly crafted assortment of delicious and nutritious gummies.
Which would be bad for Evil Morty's plan. Therefore, he went there and deleted the data containing his information. We don't know from which universe Evil Morty belongs, but his data file mentions the number 7, so it can be used as some kind of lead. From this single scene, we can see how different this Morty always was compared to other Mortys. While the 2 other Mortys are depicted with a smile, the middle one, aka Evil Morty, is depicted as quite the opposite. He successfully deleted the data about him and then dragged the corpses of 2. The next unit from that universe, their clothings are cut. It seems Morty uses the corpses of other Ricks to gain the. When a group of Mortys attacked controlled by Morty, he still had some kind of consciousness, but obviously Evil Morty overpowered him via his eye patch. Fight Rick attempting suicide, which means that even though it seems Morty uses the corpses of other Ricks to gain the intelligence and information from them. In one of these scenes, we see Evil Rick, his original modified Rick, attempting suicide, which means that even though he was fully controlled by Morty, he still had some kind of consciousness, but obviously Evil Morty overpowered him via his eye patch. Then the scene shifts to a scene from the 10th episode of the first season, when a group of Mortys attack Evil Rick, but it seems this is what Evil Rick wanted in the first place, finally dying so he could be free from Evil Morty's control. That's why he was so accepting of his end. Then we see a very popular scene where Evil Morty reveals himself as the true mastermind behind everything, the scene from the same episode from the first season. However, before he does that, something kind of weird happens. Evil Morty is comforted by one of the Citadel Ricks. Even though this might be a coincidence and Rick was just trying to comfort a random Morty, it can be assumed that there might be a chance that they might be working together, because it was weird how he came directly out of a portal, so maybe it was an implication of them working together. Then the scene shifts to the election days, which was the central theme of the 7th episode of the 3rd season. We can see how Evil Morty was not originally planning to take control of the Citadel. He just saw an opportunity and seized it. We see a couple of scenes during his presidency and how he came into power. Then we see the famous episode from the 5th season where Rick C-137 and Morty Prime confront him for the 2nd time and how he escaped the central finite curve. Finally, we see where he actually went after escaping and what he was doing. It seems Evil Morty still lives on the central finite curve. However, it doesn't really look like he got any rest after escaping from his usual universe, since it seems Evil Morty still has to go risk his life in the dangerous region between dimensions to get special crystals that powered his home security system. However, despite everything, he still calls that place paradise, since he feels completely free and unbound. The place where he lives looks extremely chaotic, disorganized, and confused. You can see how one family, a lot of smart beings are, implying themselves learn that he is not really connected to Rick Prime and was just a Morty of an average normal Rick. However, his backstory wasn't the only thing that we learned in this episode. His peace is quickly interrupted by Rick C-137 and his Morty. Their presence in Evil Morty's dimension caused his home security system to be disrupted, allowing a monster to enter his house. To fix this problem, he goes to meet with Rick C-137 and Morty. But before we see their interaction, we see how Rick tries to find Rick Prime. He was able to summon Rick Prime's decoys from every universe to find clues about him. The reunion between Rick C-137 and Evil Morty was exactly how I envisioned it to be. Even though Evil Morty for a majority of the time was, evil, he wasn't necessarily entirely evil. More like neutral, somewhat gray, and Rick knows that. That's why he didn't freak out when he saw him, unlike Morty, who immediately went to find a net to capture his evil counterpart. Both of them tried to show their dominance. Rhea was sucked into a weird type of dimension where they met Rick C1 Infinity. We have never seen such a weapon yet. A weapon so destructive that it wipes out a certain person from every single dimension. He offers the other Ricks a deal that he it seems both of us point, which enabled him to find the real Rick Prime. Rick Prime revealed that those two were the only ones who invented interdimensional travel, which means the rest of the Ricks were dependent on them to get their hands on the tool. This shows us how special and unique Rick Prime and Rick C-137 really are. Finally, we see the Omega device in action. Rick Prime used it to erase Slow Mobius from existence, which greatly affected Rick and increased his urge to finally finish Rick Prime. However, he was getting overpowered by him, and it was no surprise that Rick Prime had an upper hand, which was the reason why Evil Morty joined him to fight Rick Prime. In that fight, we learned that Rick Prime was also a cyborg. It wasn't some biotech Wolverine stuff, as a lot of people assumed to be the case. The fight almost took Rick. He was half dead and lying unconscious. Meanwhile, Evil Morty captured Rick Prime. He used Rick Prime's whole information, and similar to how he treated other Ricks, he did the same with Prime. But in the meantime, he also used Rick Prime's energy to revive Rick C-137 and left them alone in the room. The scene between Rick and Rick Prime was probably the most emotional scene in the whole series. Everything was perfect. No background music, nothing. Just raw talking and beating up. Rick was finally able to take out all of his anger that he was keeping for decades on Rick Prime. In the meantime, Evil Morty got his hands on the Omega weapon while Rick looked completely lifeless and numb. Before Evil Morty left the duo, he acknowledged how different Rick C-137 was and teased their future interaction. Evil Morty knew how empty it felt to catch the white whale. He is emotionally more mature than Rick, which isn't that hard to do, but still, it's crazy to think that Rick could learn from him. He seems to get the bigger picture, and that's where I think that you always need to. I wonder, really cool to think of this parallel. Before, with Morty, his entire world was destroyed. He probably thought his entire family was dead. He had to bury himself. And now, with Rick, his entire reality is destroyed. Well, more realistically, it was destroyed when his wife was killed. But hunting Prime distracted him, so the horror of it never set in. Now Prime is dead. Rick's wife is dead. There's nothing more he can do. This was by far the best episode this season has offered. Personally, I did not expect all of that to happen. Maybe by the end of the season...
Use Priceline. They have package deals no one else has.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
United Masters Blueprint. A personalized career coach tailored just for you.
You got that crystal over there, but the ass into a third.
No, first time.
Shut the up! Oh, damn! I'm from the fourth dimension. I can hear all of y'all. Now let's just see what we got here for a second. Hey, damn it! Were you trying to use this to... Oh, see, you broke time, and you thought you could just stick it back together with this? How you think you gonna move time while you're standing in it, you dumbass three-dimensional monkey-ass dummies? No, Earth, dude. I'm talking about, yeah, with the dinosaurs. If you get to the dolphin people, you're going too far.
Huge ticket up, including turning around to look behind you.
I cannot argue that.
Oh, God, gross and weird! Chris! You killed my girl!
Hey, man, when the hell were you?
Looking for you, asshole!
I told you past the dinosaur.
You killed my girl!
Hey, man, when the hell were you?
Looking for you, asshole!
I told you past the dinosaurs.
You know how much time is past the dinosaurs? Half of all time!
Come on, man, it's this way.
Come on, give me that thing. Speed it up. You can't be this far.
There he is. Stop.
So that's the guy, huh?
Yeah, that's him. Hey, man, remember me? I got something for your ass. Don't mess with time. No, with time, mother. I will not with time.
We just gotta wait for him to blow by a cop.
Slimmy Pants here, what's up? Snakes? Time travel? They did what? How the did... Okay, I'm on it. We got a 1051 on a goddamn snake planet. From a crazy hidden detail in the Lego mode to an insane Family Guy reference, here are 50 more secrets and Easter eggs in Fortnite. If you land at Grand Glacier, you can now find the most hilarious chest ever. There's giant bushes shaped like a deer, but look behind it and who did this? This ain't no accident. When we asked Fortnite to explain themselves, they replied saying, it'd be a pain in the butt. But if you prefer to land at an underground hideout, there is one object you should keep an eye on. Each safe house has a whiteboard with all the bosses pinned on it, except Peter Griffin. Keep watching as the match goes on, because when they're taken down by a flare, they'll get crossed out. And if you own John Wick's official skin, you're lucky to get 2 secret edit styles with the new season. These didn't just change his hair and clothes, they also cut off his fingers. Spoiler alert, he has to chop it off in the 3rd film. Lucky to get 2 secret edit styles with the new season. These didn't just change his hair and clothes, they also cut off his fingers. Spoiler alert, he has to chop it off in the 3rd film, and they carried the detail over to his new styles in Fortnite. And that's not the only great reference in Chapter 5, because the Family Guy set is full of them. From the iconic Peter Copter to the wacky waivers, but my personal favorite is the Scratcher. We all know what it's for.
Here's your butt scratcher here, butt scratcher!
It's not just collabs Fortnite's been referencing this season, sometimes it's themselves. If you've been playing the Lego mode, you'll know the insane amount of dialogue there is with hundreds of NPCs. In fact, there's 50,000 lines of dialogue. And if you have Aura, she might say she gets so mad she wants to flip an entire island upside down. If you know, you know. It doesn't stop there. Speak with Meowscles, and there's a small chance to tell you how he's nervous about anything shaped like a cube. I think we all know what he's referring to. If you're playing Battle Royale instead and think the train is kinda useless, you probably don't know the secret that everyone's missing. Once the train is claimed, it seems pretty useless other than transport, right? Well, what if I told you the loot actually refills? Yes, after the cache has been claimed, it'll pass through 2 more stations before resetting, allowing you to hack it all over again for more loot. With the new jam tracks, there's tons of new songs coming to the game every week, but one of them might be familiar than the rest. You can now catch Belle Biv DeVoe in rotation in the shop, and this is actually the music that Turk dances to in Scrubs. Recognize it? Yes, it is the iconic default dance, and now we can finally recreate it entirely in game. Another cool cosmetic can be found in this season's battle pass. The Flex emote brings out Nisha's fencing sword, and at first glance it looks like a standard emote, but it
That scared me. Anthony, I'm sorry. What the?
changes. Depending on your elims in the match, you'll draw a different number in the air from 0 all the way up to 100. But one thing has taken the community by storm after it was discovered hiding on the Chapter 5 map. In the north, you can find Cloister Castle secluded on a rock, but this place has way more than you can imagine. On the top floor, you can find Midas's office chair straight from his room in Chapter 2. It's looking out over the island and leaving many people wondering if he's returned. And if you're skeptical, that's not the only evidence. Or you can find Midas's office chair straight from his room in Chapter 2. It's looking out over the island and leaving many people wondering if he's returned. And if you're skeptical, that's not the only evidence pointing towards Midas coming back. Over at Grand Glacier, check out the elevator. Sure, it doesn't work, but it does have the same doors as the agency. We first saw these in the top secret trailer, and they were never used in game until today. So something's definitely going on here. And if you're defeating the Peter Griffin boss and wondering why he isn't wearing his iconic clothes, it's actually a real outfit from the show. In the Lottery Fever episode, the Griffins win $150 million, and of course, Peter spends half of it on a solid gold tuxedo. Not the only detail you should pay attention to on the map right now, because one of the signs is leaking an upcoming update. Take a look at the information boards at train stations, and you'll notice the map is very different. Half of the snow biome is planned to melt later this season, uncovering Rebel's Roost, the Lavish Lair, and Classy Courts. Even Hazy Hillside is gonna melt, which has a lot of people upset since the town looks so perfect in the snow. And that's not the only crazy detail at the train stations. Each of them has their own language. Because the map is inspired by parts of Europe, you can find French, German, Greek, and Italian areas split across the island. So when you visit one station, the announcements can be in French, and the next in Greek, no matter what your language is set to. One of the creepiest secrets you can find this season is by using a contrail. These things are pretty underrated, especially when Epic has details like Oscars. Not only do you get claws that scratch through the sky, but you can see his eyes stalking you through the shadow just like a real tiger. And that's not the only animal on the island. You can also find the return of Thunder. Yep, everyone's favorite lizard is back, and he's running his business just like before. Now he has 2 sushi restaurants on docks around the map where you can grab a quick
quick meal, and even hear thunder roll playing in the background. In fact, there are so many returning characters this season, it's hard to keep track. If you head over to the northeast corner of the map, you can find a bunch of wind turbines and a small oil platform. Obviously, a great callback to the rig from Chapter 2, but after some exploring inside, you can find TNTina's helmet resting on a chair. There's even a reference to the Imagined Order hidden away in LEGO Fortnite. When exploring your world, you can find randomly generated structures like villages, caves, or broken down houses, but one of them is insanely rare to find, the IO Bunker. It's the classic hatch from Chapter 1 and 2, and now people are starting to discover them in LEGO. And if you're waiting for the release of Solid Snake later this season, there's also some exclusive gameplay coming with him. The trailer showed us that the creeping cardboard will return, but this time with a makeover. It's now a box of oranges to hide in, which is exactly what Snake does in the Metal Gear Solid games. There's also some secrets at Fortnite Festival. Welcome to the main stage, and before you cue your songs, take a second to explore the theater, cause there's an evil plot hiding behind you. Head up into the left stands, and you can find a burning cat plushie or planning to kill someone. Yeah, definitely creepy. We're all familiar with the new update to healing this season, with meds giving you what you need and discarding the rest. But pay attention when drinking a big shield. You'll throw it on the ground, but it doesn't just vanish, it actually smashes, and you can hear the glass shatter all over the floor. And it's not just meds are dropping on the ground either, it's also cards. Yeah, one of the emotes in the Battle Pass is literally a calling card drop, so you can leave a mark after an elim. But what most people haven't realized is that it's customizable. The icon uses your current banner, and the color reflects which one you have selected too, giving this emotes thousands of combinations. If you're feeling lost on the brand new map, simply equip Adventure Peely's backbling. The Nana Compass isn't just adorable, it actually functions, pointing north, east, south, or west depending on which way you're facing in a match. It's not the only feature right now. Medallions are useful for constant shield regen. They also provide another perk that nobody's noticed. Along with the guards and bosses at the Society's Bonfire,